been an honor and a pleasure to have managed La Pirogue for more than 10 years as general manager, and in particular to have been at its head for the celebration of the 40th anniversary last year, and more importantly to oversee the recent renovation and subsequent launch which we are commemorating this evening. It's a great pleasure to welcome you all here tonight, in particular our close collaborators from the tourism industry, our project team who turned the renovation plans into a reality, the members of government who have always supported us, as well as many of our hotel guests present tonight whose patronage we cherish. Most importantly, I'd like to welcome the Honourable Prime Minister and to thank him for accepting to share this moment in the history of La Pirogue with us. Tonight's celebration would not have been possible without the support of Rama Punasamy and his team from eMedia, as well as my own executives and management, team leaders and service associates who've worked tirelessly over the past few weeks in preparation for tonight's occasion. As we all want to get on with the party ahead, let me not delay further, and I'd like to hand over to our first speaker, the CEO of Sun Limited, David Anderson.
What an immense pleasure it is to be in these beautiful gardens of La Pirogue for the relaunch after the recent renovation. La Pirogue is one of the finest hotels in Mauritius, and it's an absolute joy to be here all together with the people that are important for us as Sun, who we're going to share tonight and share the relaunch of this magnificent hotel. 41 years ago, on the 7th of June 1976, La Pirogue opened its doors to welcome its very first guests. Today, this resort has become a real institution and part of the Mauritian hospitality history. Indeed, La Pirogue has hosted numerous official state dinners and government functions since its opening. For 41 years, this hotel has consistently performed to the very highest of standards, and guest satisfaction has been second to none. And I'm delighted to confirm that this hotel is going from strength to strength as a top performer in its class in reputation management. And subsequently, 3 weeks ago, this hotel, La Pirogue, was certified as a 4-star superior resort. I strongly believe that its great performance is not only due to its beautiful landscaping and its unique bungalows, but it's also to do with the very fact that we don't just sell food and beverage and rooms. We give service, the very best service, to a world-class standard. And this is something that La Pirogue has always done. And if La Pirogue remains iconic, it's because of its dedicated employees, some of whom have been here since day one and represent our guests, the real reason for them to return year after year. And I would just like to, if we could applaud the staff that have been here for so long. La Pirogue has also attracted in its time royal dignitaries such as the Duke of Edinburgh, Nobel Prize in Literature winner Jean-Marie Leclusio, film stars and musicians, and today enjoys the largest repeater percentage of any hotel on the island. Owning such a hotel as La Pirogue also comes with responsibility. So when we embarked on the latest renovation, we knew we had to get it right. How can you maintain, after all, a Mauritian authentic hotel with such charm of a grande dame, whilst upgrading it at the same time to a world-class hospitality standard? The renovation of its rooms, restaurants, bars and public areas were done in a boho chic style, reminiscent of the era in which the hotel was built. Our rooms and public areas were redesigned by a Mauritian interior designer, Virginie Koenig, who has used to a large degree sustainable materials, which is in line with Sun's eco-policy. Additionally, we've integrated a music recording studio. So if anyone wants to, record an album when they're here, please feel free. Ask Andrew Sloan. We've also added a Van der Stel wine bar with 61 different premium wines. So this really demonstrates how La Pirogue continues to reinvent itself. I'd also like to seize this opportunity to thank those who were responsible for managing the project of the renovation. And they did this with absolute pride and passion and integrity. Andrew Townsend, who's the head of development for Sun, Nicolas Pugnier and the team from BCE, our main contractor, Santos Luchmi and the team from Keystone Project Management, Alistair and Ross Macbeth, the architects who coordinated some of the external renovation, and all those others that are here tonight who were part of that project. Last but not least, I'd also like to thank Andrew Sloan for his unrelenting devotion and his leadership as General Manager of La Pirogue. Indeed, one can hardly evoke La Pirogue without bringing up the name Andrew Sloan, who is synonymous with this hotel, being the longest-serving general manager of this resort. He has made significant strides in elevating the resort's stature as one of the most sought-after properties in Mauritius, and he is definitely one of the leading figures in the Mauritian hotel industry. His success has also been made possible by his amazing team, and assisted particularly by Jérôme Favori. As Sun, as responsible and good owners, Sun has invested some 8 billion rupees in the last 3 years to keep our hotels in good order, in good design, and in a good state of repair. Following these strategic investments, we refinanced and raised the largest bond issue in the history of Mauritius, and more recently attracted new capital into the company with a rights issue and a private placement. The cherry on the cake was when Sun made the SEM 10, the top 10 companies on the stock exchange. The renovation of La Pirogue, now completes Sun's transformation and transition phases in its strategic roadmap. This year has also seen the activation of our brand strategy to give substance to our tagline, Timeless Memories. Since the 1st of November, we have launched in all our hotels a set of unique guest experiences that will clearly define Sun as a reference in global hospitality to help us capitalize on our commitment to operational excellence. Our goal is not only to have beautiful hotels, but it's also to continue to make strategic investments in the hospitality industry. We want to work alongside government to help us achieve our development plan for the benefit of all stakeholders. After all, the hospitality industry is one of the oldest in the world, but it's also a symbol of the bold new world, in which global connections and global travel is a way of life. La Pirogue, like its sister hotels, is in a place where local and global interact, enriching the lives of all who visit. I'm sure tonight will be one of those enriching moments. Thank you.
Isn't it wonderful to be here and gathering in this beautiful garden? In fact, this hotel architecture has been done around that garden as its masterpiece. And therefore, I would like to extend a warm welcome to La Pirogue by nature in great boho chic style. I do myself recall when I was a teenager walking on the beach, which is right behind me. Back then, La Pirogue had just been built. It was in 1976. In fact, it was the only hotel on this beautiful, one of the finest, and I think probably one of the longest beach in Mauritius. What great souvenirs. I'm sure that many of you would recall these early days in the hotel industry. La Pirogue and a few other hotels are in fact household names, not only in Mauritius, but globally. Our hotel industry was then at its dawn. I have always admired the vision of the pioneers, those who could see how successful this development would be for our country. What seems obvious today, it wasn't the case then. When it took a 16-hour flight to travel to our beautiful island, stopping in places like Djibouti or Nairobi. Many then doubted the fact that we would develop such a thriving activity. And yet, look where we are today. The growth of the industry since the 70s has been impressive, and yet we are just coming out of the most challenging period probably since its beginning. We are just recovering from these tough years, when the supply way outnumbered the demand. But the good thing is that we come out of it much tougher, with strong lessons learned. I believe that the way we have opened our world, it is giving us a much better tailwind. An improved air access policy has made the reach to our shores so much easier, not only for the well-developed market or traditional market, but also for the emerging markets. And the openness to foreign talent is allowing each of us to learn and progress faster in our careers. Mr. Prime Minister, I would like to thank you and your government for your unflinching support to the hospitality industry. We need it because we cannot say that everything will go well from now on. In a way, we face similar challenges that the pioneers faced in the early 70s. We are facing some major shifts in the distribution channels. We are challenged by many upcoming destinations coming to market in this flatter and digitalized world. Our economic growth is putting substantial pressure on our precious environment. To stay ahead, we need to think ahead. There is a need, therefore, to strategically position our beautiful island such that we become a must-see destination in a lifetime. We could, for instance, leverage our small scale to become the first 100% sustainable destination in the world. Why not? Imagine Mauritius with 100% of its vehicle fleet being fully electric. We could set ourselves realistic targets and reach such objectives. It is up to us together to decide what we want to be known for. We have, for the past 50 years since independence, defined our future, and we did so with great success. We have a same opportunity to shape the next 50 years. This is why I'm so happy tonight to officially reopen La Pirogue. We have enhanced the boho chic feeling that made it so successful, and we've kept our closeness to nature. La Pirogue offers an excellent balance between authenticity, tropical charm, and peacefulness. In fact, 1976 doesn't look so far away anymore. But yet, many modern experiences have been designed to offer our guests timeless memories. I would like to thank, from the deepest of my heart, the people that make La Pirogue so unique. They are the soul of this hotel, and their talent and smiles are forever linked to La Pirogue's success. To Andrew and the team, you've taken this hotel to new heights. Well done. Mr. Prime Minister, I can assure you of our commitment to continuously investing in our people. We are particularly excited as Sun to be able to learn from some of the best hotel brands in the world. That is the Four Seasons and the Shangri-La Group. They are our partners. And partnership for Sun is indeed a key word. Our strong partnership with the authorities, the NTPA, the Tourism Authority, the ARIM, Air Mauritius, the airline companies, tour operators, is a key element to our future development. Without the strong partnership with the design teams, consultants, contractors, this renovation wouldn't have been such a success. Last but not least, we are partnering with our employees and customers to create together unique experiences and meaningful relationships. I therefore use this opportunity to thank all of you for your close collaboration. The recent transformation of Sun under the leadership of David Anderson and his team, the support of the CL Group, the new partnership with the DocuSong initiative will certainly position Sun as a leading hospitality group in the region. May this iconic hotel, that is La Pirogue, continue to exercise an even stronger seduction on many of us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you'll have a very special evening tonight.
Minister of Home Affairs, External Communications and National Development Unit, Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Pavin Kumar Jagannath, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister Aman Nabilu, my colleague ministers, Sir Jean-Pierre Dalle, Chairman of Sun Limited, Sir David Anderson, CEO of Sun Limited, Mr. Andrew Sloan, and old friend, General Manager of La Pirogue, all the directors and chairpersons of the Tourism Authority and the MTPA, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Let me start by saying that I'm deeply honored to be invited to this ceremony for the reopening of La Pirogue Hotel after major renovation works. I'm happy to note that the renovation has been achieved without any impact on the historical and traditional image of the hotel. We all know that renovation is an important feature of the hospitality industry as the expectations of travelers evolve with time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is necessary for all hotels to have a regular renovation strategy, as any infrastructure will degrade with time and use. If we intend to maintain the top-class image of our destination, then we have no alternative than to renovate, modernize, and provide a guest-friendly environment to enhance the uniqueness of the experience during the stay of the guest at the hotel. Let me also seize this opportunity to congratulate the Board of Sun Limited for their sustained interest in making sure that all the hotels of the group retain the image of excellence and luxury. Ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations has proclaimed this year 2017 as the International Year of Sustainable Tourism for Development, in recognition of the tremendous potential the industry has to pave the way for the future we want. Already, tourism accounts for about 10% of all economic activity in the world. 1 in every 10 jobs in the world is linked to tourism. Tourism is a global industry which is operationalized locally. The United Nations World Tourism Organization has adopted the philosophy that tourism is synonymous with these 3 words: travel, enjoy, respect. Simple, but how telling these words are, and how appropriate for this wonderful industry that has an infinite range of linkages with other activities. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the United Nations General Assembly mention inter alia that tourism is a driver of growth in order to eliminate poverty. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development commits member states through SDG 8.9 to devise and implement policies to promote sustainable tourism that creates jobs and promotes local culture and products. Sustainable tourism is not achievable without a clear policy of inclusiveness. 2017, as I have mentioned, is the year of sustainable tourism for development. It is important for us as a government to ensure that our population does not feel deprived of the basic infrastructure and utilities when there is a perception that the tourists are getting it all. The partnership between the industry and the local people should really be a partnership and not be seen as charity. Ladies and gentlemen, the tourism industry is destined to play an ever-increasing role in Mauritius. Already, it accounts for over 100,000 direct and indirect jobs, and we are of the view that the industry must grow and continue to grow. But for the tourism industry to grow and to be profitable, it must have the active endorsement and partnership of the local communities. When everyone feels that the industry is beneficial to the community at large, then everyone will protect it. The industry must be owned by one and all and provide a livelihood to people, a livelihood of dignity. While we understand that there can be a downside to any activity, we in government, we will do everything to protect the environment. It is possible for the whole community to take pride in the tourism industry, not only for its economic and employment benefits, but also because it is the industry par excellence that brings people from different countries, religions, cultures, and traditions together in a spirit of friendship, tolerance, and security. Tourism is the sharing of values and traditions. This is why it is important for everyone to be part of it and to embrace it. Tourism must be seen as an industry that improves the lives of ordinary people. Like the UN WTO, we in government also consider that tourism is a power for good. At present, the number of international tourists worldwide is 1.2 billion, and by 2030, that figure will rise to 1.8 billion. That growth in numbers means that there will be need for more accommodation, more air connectivity, and other services. While this sounds like a positive development for the world, it is critical that this growth is managed carefully in order to preempt what some countries and cities are experiencing when local people are carrying tourists to go home. With growth comes power, and with power comes responsibility. Progress is not the enemy, but we must manage growth in a sustainable and reasonable manner. Ladies and gentlemen, I honestly believe that within the value chain of the tourism industry, there is an element which is absolutely essential. That element is the human factor. As a tourist destination, we take pride in having hotels, as you have heard, which can match even the best hotel establishments anywhere else. Our accueil is renowned. The friendliness of the Mauritian people and the smile of all those employed in the industry are assets which we must treasure. This is why I consider that the industry must keep on developing in-house training programs for all categories of employees so that anyone can legitimately aspire to work at any level. Attracting employees is fine, but retaining them is far better. Opportunities for anyone in the industry to move up must be created, and there must be real prospects for the young people, including graduates, to have a bright career in the industry. The scope for growth in Mauritius is good. As an example, ladies and gentlemen, Singapore, with a land territory of a third of Mauritius, and with a population of about 5 million, which includes 2 million expatriates, Singapore receives 16 million tourists a year, and it has plans to increase that number. The jury is still out on the number of tourists that Mauritius can receive in the course of a year. But I can say with confidence, ladies and gentlemen, that there is room for growth. But the growth must be sustainable over the long term. We must always be on the lookout for new ideas and new ways of doing things which we have done, but do them differently. We have reached quite far in our thinking regarding a rebranding of the destination. We will soon be involving all stakeholders in this exercise. Ladies and gentlemen, while the consensus is that the industry is doing well and that the future looks promising, we must avoid the temptation of complacency. We must continue to be alert to the threats and the challenges facing the destination. But we should not be afraid of competition. We are marketing our destination as a year-round one, as we really intend to break the cycle of seasonality. We are continuing to explore new markets, and the year 2017 has been eventful as far as air connectivity goes. KLM and Saudi Airlines are now present in our skies. There are other airlines that are interested in flying to Mauritius, and during this festive season, we will be having some other carriers from cities where there are no scheduled air services. I am very confident that tourism will continue to deliver strong growth. It can provide even more employment opportunities. When we see how many employees of the hospitality industry are being recruited on cruise ships, we can appreciate that our personnel is comparable to the best anywhere. Under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister, who is determined to place Mauritius among the high-income countries at the earliest, I have no doubt that the tourism industry will be a catalyst to accompany us along that route. Mesdames et messieurs, cette industrie si attrayante, attirante et innovante a l'espace nécessaire pour diversifier avec de nouvelles activités, tant pour le sport, le golf, ainsi que pour les conférences, ce qu'on appelle le MICE. Elle s'invente chaque jour pour que ceux qui viennent chez nous aient des souvenirs impérissables de bonheur et de joie. Ces visiteurs deviennent les meilleurs ambassadeurs de notre destination. Mais pour cela, je dois rendre un hommage appuyé aux employés de l'hôtel La Pirogue et de tous les hôtels à Maurice, sans aucune distinction, qui se dévouent jour et nuit, les jours fériés, pour offrir aux touristes l'experience of a lifetime. Cela est d'autant plus important aujourd'hui parce que dans ce monde digitalisé et super connecté, un commentaire défavorable sur les réseaux sociaux peut entraîner des conséquences graves pour l'image de notre pays. Mais j'ai entière confiance que l'avenir du tourisme est et sera brillant, grâce à votre travail, votre dévouement et votre professionnalisme. Nous allons célébrer le 50e anniversaire de l'indépendance de notre pays en 2018. D'un pays sans espoir en 68, nous avons réussi à faire de ce rocher au milieu de l'océan Indien un bijou de paix, de coexistence et de tolérance. C'est ce qui impressionne les touristes et c'est cela qui est le socle de cette industrie. Protégeons-la, il faut qu'on la protège. Avant de terminer, mesdames et messieurs, comme Anderson a dit, l'hôtel La Pirogue a été assessed par le Tourism Authority, and under Scrum, I'm pleased to announce that you've been awarded the 4-star plus rating, which I'll be delighted to hand over to you. Can you come over? I thank you for your kind attention.
It is a pleasure to be with all of you this evening at the launching of the newly renovated La Pirogue Resort and Spa. And let me, at the very outset, congratulate the management of La Pirogue for the tremendous efforts they must have put in to modernize the hotel and adapt it to the evolving expectations of the visitors. In fact, we have to operate in a world where it is crucial to change with the times so that we can consolidate our competitiveness as a nation. Our tourism industry has, since its early days in the 70s, done what it takes to meet the increasingly sophisticated demands of world travelers. And this adaptability has always been one of its strengths. And this newly renovated hotel bears out the determination to uphold this tradition. And as a hotel that has been operating for around 4 decades, La Pirogue Resort and Spa has firmly established itself as one of the prominent players in the industry. Its contribution to the development of the tourism sector and to the economic and social development has indeed been significant. Back in 1976, when La Pirogue started its operation, our tourism industry was just in its growing stages, but it already showed its potential to be a main driver of growth and development in our country. Today, with hindsight, we can affirm that the tourism sector has lived up to its promise, contributing to take Mauritius all the way from a low income to an upper middle income economy, creating on the way thousands of jobs, especially in times when unemployment was high, and bringing also much needed foreign currency to finance development. Ladies and gentlemen, 40 years ago, only some 100,000 tourists visited our country yearly. At that time, there were around 40 hotels. There are now 110, and the number of visitors has exceeded 1 million. Today, around 12% of our tourists come from Asia, in contrast to less than 2% in 1976. We can therefore see that tourism has been one of the most dynamic of our industries in the past 4 decades, growing quantitatively at a fast pace, improving qualitatively with more diversified and upmarket products, and undergoing the necessary structural changes to build resilience. It must also be stressed that the tourism sector, unlike that of sugar and manufacturing, has not been dependent on preferential access to markets. It has proved over the years to be one of the most globally competitive sectors of the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, I am confident that the future for the tourism industry will be as bright as its past. The investments being made to renovate, innovate, and improve services are very encouraging. They bear out the high level of trust in the future of that industry and its heightened role in the next stage of development of our country. Government, of course, will continue to give its full support to ensure that the tourism industry grows at its full potential. Our policy is therefore to encourage higher quality, be it in terms of products, infrastructure, environment, and the vast spectrum of services that modern upmarket travelers expect. Ladies and gentlemen, in the past year and in this year, the industry has been performing very well. We have in fact seen positive outcomes from government policy to open the sky and to diversify the sources of visitors. However, our efforts will not stop here, for tourism must continue to be a key pillar of the economy. It must maintain its dynamic growth path through more intense diversification, creating more hotel accommodation capacity, yet more flights to improve carrying capacity, and through more focused promotion and marketing campaigns in both traditional and new markets. I must stress that as the tourism industry expands further, we have to be mindful of its impact on our environment, not only for visitors, but equally for our own population. I would therefore urge all our hotels, and in fact all the operators and all the partners of that industry, to fully comply with the Earth Check certification so that we can keep Mauritius as a clean, safe, prosperous, healthy country for all of us. I also expect the tourism industry, be it the hotels or other operators, to fully align their strategic planning to government's endeavor to transform Mauritius into a digital economy and society. As an industry that contributes significantly to GDP and to employment, it is crucial that it plays fully its role in helping our nation realize the vision of a digital economy. Besides, we all know that no industry will be able to retain or improve its global competitiveness unless it embraces the newest of technologies. All operators across all industries, and in particular, of course, in the tourism industry, must realize that Mauritius is in a new era of development. We are engaging a challenging transition to a high-income economy. The days of comparative advantage based on low wages are behind us. It is also a new era of development marked by unprecedented reforms in the labor market. This is happening already. Our industries must adapt. I am encouraged to see today that La Pirogue Resort and Spa is fully conscious of this new era and of the need not only to adapt, but to contribute in an active way to make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, let me end by once more congratulating the management and the staff of La Pirogue Resort and Spa for this major renovation of their hotel. This new beautiful hotel reflects both the spirit of this country's past, always striving to be amongst the best, and our boldness as we step into the future, always aiming higher. I wish La Pirogue Resort and Spa, its management, and the staff success in their future endeavors. Thank you for your attention.